poetry, and photography dreams. So far, he's earned somewhere around $100 million in NFL contracts alone. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Lowe's knows that your business is built on speed and trust. That's why the Lowe's Pro Desk is here to get you what you need the moment you need it. We'll help you plan your project, calculate your materials, and pivot when your job takes an unexpected turn. And with our pro-only checkout and dedicated pro parking, you have what you need to tackle your job and be back on the job in no time. Just visit us at the Pro Desk. Lowe's knows pros. We help. You save.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, though, man. But I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017thetruth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, February 10th, 2025. I hope you all had a chance to witness what I believe was not just the greatest Super Bowl performance in history, but a monumental one that was a shift of culture. If you knew what you were looking at, most people did not. And I think that was the point. Remember, Kendrick Lamar is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. So everything that he does has got a lot of hidden meaning underneath it. I'm going to do my level best to try and analyze and break down the very complex parts of the halftime show. And for those people that didn't like it or wasn't entertaining enough, or he should have did this, he should have had outfit changes, he should have performed different songs, it's not for you. And I can't make it for you. If you only saw what was on the surface, then first of all, you're a product of what America wants you to be. And what I say to you is probably not going to make any sense, because what Kendrick did is he took Black history and Black history digested and then put it to symbolism and put it to music in a way that was nothing short of masterful, and most people didn't get that. And what's disappointing is when Black people didn't get it, because that explains the divide between Black folks that are woke and Black folks that are consumers, because the opposite of woke is not sleep, it's consumer. Woke means you are aware of oppression and you can understand the art form that is Black history. That Black history is not a series of like stuff that black people invented that you didn't know about. It's how you digest James Baldwin. It's how you digest the poetry of Phyllis Wheatley. It's how you digest Stokely Carmichael and Kwame Ture. It's how you digest those things and then come up with a picture of where we are right now. But here's the good news, though. And social media is going to give you instantaneous feedback on people's actual true thoughts. And so this is where we can take an inventory of who is with us and who is not, who understands and who does not. All of this anti-wokeness that I think the majority culture has digested. They did a war on wokeness, a war on being aware. That means that black folks to know and understand the culture and the code, we can plan our revolution on the surface level, and most people won't even know what we're talking about. Kendrick said, you picked the right time, but the wrong guy. He was like, I'm not your revolutionary. You are the revolutionaries. I am just going to put on full display where we are at in this country. And it was complicated, and I know it flew over a whole bunch of people's heads. So I was confused by a lot of it. I had to watch it again this morning. And then once I watched it again, I was like, oh, like in the beginning, he mimics a flow from a song called Hip Hop. It's Bigger Than Hip Hop by a conscious group, hip hop group from the early 2000s called Dead Prez. In fact, the background melody is that song, It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. But most people didn't even catch that. So Kendrick was starting off his set saying, what I'm going to do is bigger than hip hop. That means put your thinking caps on because we're about to go deep. The set ranged from a representation of the show Squid Games. And Squid Games is basically a Korean Netflix series. There's 2 seasons of it where it's basically themed rich people watch poor people kill each other for their entertainment. That is what America is right now. Most people miss that. He was standing on a Grand National, a GNX. The only year, and you guys that are familiar with K-Dot's music, you guys know the symbolism of the GNX. It was only built one year, 1987. That was the year Kendrick Lamar was born. It was an underestimated vehicle, which Kendrick Lamar is underestimated for his incredible writing skills and his Pulitzer Prize. And it was the fastest vehicle in the world at the time, but nobody appreciated it. So that was all symbolism as well that flew over a lot of people's head. A lot of people didn't even understand at the end of his set, the stage was a PlayStation controller. To just illustrate to people how dissolved our minds are in wanting to play video games and how ironic it was. And shout out to Benjamin. Don't be mad at me, Benjamin. But I heard you talking about how upset you were that one of your servers was down on the video games you were playing. Like Kendrick literally spoke to you in his performance. It was overwhelming, quite honestly. And I'm surprised that the NFL allowed that level of conscious blackness to be on full display. And that's why a lot of white folks didn't get it, and they thought it was stupid. Everybody, even the famous white folks, Theo Vaughn, a whole bunch of other folks. Matt Coors, a famous YouTuber, this was stupid. What the heck was going on? You're supposed to not know what was going on. And the more people that don't know what's going on, the easier it will be for us to plan the next revolution right on the surface level. Because if we speak to each other in a certain way, those of us that are conscious, those that are unconscious will never understand. Problem is, there's too many black folks that are unconscious. This is a flashpoint in American history. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but what is happening in this nation, especially with Donald Trump being reelected, and a lot of this was aimed at Trump. A lot of it was. They even showed there was a photograph that I saw of Trump. Somebody was explaining what Donald Trump was seeing because he's way too stupid to know what was going on. And he was just sitting there with his arms folded like, how dare you do this? Samuel L. Jackson represented the masses that just want to be entertained. Kendrick, don't be too ghetto. Wait a minute, you're going too far. No, don't do that. It's also very reminiscent of the character that Samuel L. Jackson played in Django as well. So there was a lot going on. I want to do my best to decipher. It's going to take a little bit of time, but once I explain the nuts and bolts of what you saw, then it's going to make a lot more sense. But he was speaking to the woke. A lot of you are anti-woke, and you were told to be anti-woke, unaware of oppression. And so that flew over your head. And that's perfectly fine with us, those of us that understand what's going on and what is at stake. Because now we know who we can and who we cannot work with. If we have to give, like, Like, there were so many, like, breakdowns, and I was embarrassed that so many African-American people had to break down one of our famed artists' performances. I was like, this public school system is actually working perfectly. I would say, oh, no, the public school system is a failure because black people don't know when they are being spoken to in a critically conscious way, like, oh, no, our public education system is failing. No, that is the result of the public education system doing exactly what it's supposed to do, making sure that black people are just consumers of entertainment, consumers of fun, consumers of trends, consumer of culture, but not a consumer of your own aggregated history, because what Kendrick did is he put it on full display, and then we determined who understands it or not by the social media commentary. That is for us to take an inventory of the people that know what he was trying to say, and those are those people that do not. There's a lot going on. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. For those of you that are Kansas City Chiefs fans, I'm not really sure why you would be. Their three-peat hopes have been dashed. I'll probably do a little touch on the game, recap a little bit of that, but you guys know this is not a sports show, nor would I ever pretend to be, because, sorry, but sports shows are boring. The last thing that I'm going to need, and I'm going to be watching for this, so whenever there's a Super Bowl, the winning team gets invited to the White House. A couple of years ago, Donald Trump was very angry. I think this might have been 2018. When was the last time the Eagles won a Super Bowl? Somewhere around there. Some of the players did not go to the White House during Donald Trump's first term. They passed on the invitation. Now that the Eagles have won another Super Bowl, I'm going to need none of them to go to the White House. That is the last bit of this protest that I need to come to fruition. So we're going to be watching out for that. And also, Brown Deer, you should be very, very proud, because one of our own, the linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, Zech is now a Super Bowl champion. I don't know how many of y'all can say that your alma mater high school has a Super Bowl champion, so yet another reason to be Brown Deer proud. Oh, in case you didn't know, I'm a Brown Deer High School graduate. Melanie Ricks is a Brown Deer High School graduate. Jason Smith, who produces Dr. Ken's show and does a lot of our social media, also a Brown Deer High School graduate. We even had a guy that worked here some time ago. I can't think of his last name, but his name was Jay. He was a Brown Deer High School graduate as well. So Brown Deer produces some incredible products, do we not? Lots to talk about today. I hope you can stick around for the long ride and the explanation of what you may or may not have seen during the halftime show yesterday. You can only get this breakdown by listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Calling all Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We have teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. To sign up for your business spotlight interviews, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom. It's a right to have a child. It's a right to not have children. And this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's time for the 32nd Annual Young Gentlemen's Scholarship Botillion, presented by the Seven Jewels Foundation and the Delta Chi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. A Botillion young gentleman is a high school senior in Milwaukee who's about to embark on adulthood and has chosen to pursue higher education, college, trade, or technical school. One lucky bowl will win a $5,000 scholarship. Apply by February 21st, 2025, and for more information, call Kevin Patterson at 414-364-2835.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Fake records.
Welcome back to the program. So that was a monumental performance, not just by the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to them. I just love NFC teams better because AFC teams, to me, feel like JV. At some point, I probably should discuss the lackluster commercials. Remember back in the day, fairly recently, when Super Bowl commercials were oftentimes the highlights of the games. They were so creative and they were funny. They were almost masterful in their delivery. A real good Super Bowl commercial, you don't even know what the product is until the very end. Or some of the best commercials, you never know what the product is because they were designed for entertainment, you see. It is becoming evident that the dismantling of DEI is really having an impact on the creativity of these ad executives and these marketing executives in corporate America, because that was all garbage. It lacked creativity. It lacked humor. When you start to remove the creative talent that is diversity, it shows in your corporate output. Corporate America is going to suffer dramatically, and let me tell you why. Because the future of this nation looks like people that look like me, and people that look like Rick, and Ben, and Carrie, and Tori, and Dr. Ken. That is what the future of this nation looks like. But because our voices and our creativity is now seen as much more of a threat, we are being eliminated from some of these decision-making positions when it comes to artistry and creativity in corporate boardrooms, and it is showing. White people do not have a lot of imagination. And no offense, white people, some of you are very good at what you do. Some of you are. But there is evidence throughout American history that a lot of the art that black people have created has been stolen and has been repackaged for a majority white population. But what do you do when the population in this country is no longer majority white? You can no longer take these deodorized and sanitized versions of entertainment and think that black people are going to purchase it. We are not, because it's not going to speak to our culture. And if you do not hire individuals that represent the diverse cultures that is the next phase of the American experiment, then your stock prices are going to continue to tank. All right, let's see what we got here. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl 59 halftime show was a powerful statement. It featured deep symbolism, cultural references, and bold artistic choices. From his Gloria jacket to Samuel L. Jackson's appearance and Serena Williams performing the Crip Walk. His performance was full of significant moments. The show was more than entertainment. It was historic and full of meaning. So you know what else is crazy? American media missed a lot of the symbolism too. Isn't that wild? I had to go to international media because they do a much better job of being able to decipher the critical elements of that performance better than American media is able to do. I probably mentioned this a long time ago. Most national publications are written somewhere between a 6th grade and 8th grade reading level. So if you want people to read, the USA Today or read Rolling Stone magazine or read Vox or read all these other national publications. You can't have the writers using words and concepts that defy the understanding of either a sixth grader or an eighth grader. And that makes sense if you look at the performance of standardized test scores in the United States of America. Most people, unfortunately, do not read at a very high level, so you have to water stuff down. So there's no way that you could explain what that halftime show was with the reading level that most Americans are currently at. And that's a really, really sad state of affairs. But in other countries where they perform better than Americans academically, you actually can critically decipher very complex visual imagery, and those other people understand it. So if you want a real deep critical look at the United States of America, you can't look at American media, because American media, if anything, is just designed to sell you stuff. It's not designed to inform you. Only on the surface level does it really inform people. But the real, like, deep thinking stuff, you got to go to international media for that. Super Bowl halftime shows are often grand spectacles, but Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl 59 performance was something entirely different. It wasn't just a show, it was a statement. With a mix of deep symbolism, cultural nods, and bold artistic choices, Lamar turned the stage into a storytelling platform that left fans talking long after the final note. From hidden messages in his wardrobe to surprise celebrity appearances, I have everything that the performance presented that makes it one that is certainly unforgettable. One of the most striking visual elements was Lamar's jacket, which had Gloria emblazed across the front. This was a nod to his song Gloria from his upcoming album GNX, but beyond that, Gloria, which means glory in Spanish, symbolized his lyrical prowess and dedication to the art of rap. Let me just do a little sidebar here. So if you were of a certain age, there was a period of time where some of the most popular hip-hop music was extremely conscious. If you came up in the era of not just Spike Lee movies, but listening to Public Enemy and the Poor Righteous Teachers and X-Clan and a rapper named Paris, who literally was a Black Panther, like that was the consciousness that existed at the time. So late 80s, early 1990s, let me do you one better. Also at the time, you had the Cosby Show on. Now, we've learned a lot of things about Bill Cosby in recent years, but back then, his show was the #1 watch show in America for like 10 years running. And what did it show? It showed a Black nuclear family with a dad that was a doctor and a mom that was a lawyer and all the kids that were intelligent and college bound. Let me do you one better than that. Then there was a spinoff of The Cosby Show called A Different World, where Lisa Bonet then goes off to college at the fictional Spelman College or Spelman University that they had in the show. That means that those of us that were watching that show saw ourselves not only in the characters of that show, A Different World, but saw us also going to college. So this is an era in which we came up. So the rap was very conscious and told us to be self-aware, and we were wearing Africa medallions because that was actually cool. Can you imagine Black culture and the digested and understood version of Black history being cool for a 14 or a 15-year-old boy? We have not been the same since then. So to see Kendrick Lamar's performance was reminiscent of my formative years, because we have not seen anything like that since. Not even close. Now it's disgusting imagery. It's exploitation of us as consumers. It's exploitation of women. Now, granted, there was some of that back in the day, but not like it is now. Not even remotely close. In fact, some of the first popular female rappers were, in fact, conscious. Queen Latifah was conscious. MC Lyte was conscious. Not now. Compare a Queen Latifah to a Sexy Red or a Megan Thee Stallion. There is no comparison. Or to a Cardi B who prided herself on being an ex-stripper. Do you see how they have just devolved our culture? The other thing was, you can have these conscious images of Black people on television. You can have a Cosby Show which shows Black people in a much more favorable light because Black people were not a political threat at the time. Our numbers were so small. We were still so deep in minorities. We're also somewhere in the middle of the national epidemic on mass incarceration of Black people. So you could show positive images of Black people because people didn't think, this isn't going to penetrate because we have laws on the books that's going to lock a lot of them away. So yes, we can show these images and these positive portrayals of black people. But at that time, they had literally a lock on our culture because that also was going on at the same time as the mass incarceration of black men. Also find this incredibly contrasting. Another show at the time, show called Living Single, which showed 5 or 6 highly educated African Americans in New York living their lives. And of course, they were all single, which I think is quite reminiscent of how some African Americans in that same age group are living their lives right now. And so people would ask me, oh, Sherwin, do you watch the show Friends? Why would I, when Friends was just a ripoff of the black show Living Single? And so do you see how when I say that white corporate America lacks creativity, they couldn't even come up with their own concept, their own show. They had to base it off of a successful show that featured black characters. The other thing that I didn't like about Friends is in the middle of New York. That show is. There's no black people anywhere. Unless Ross had a black woman as his love concubine in a couple of episodes of that show. But they literally take our creativity. And I saw some of this exhibited, the lack of creativity in the commercials. There was 2 commercials that I liked that were good. And now I didn't watch all of them. In fact, I fast forwarded through a whole bunch of them because, say, by the end of the second quarter, I was not amused. There was a commercial that promoted girls flag football. And at the end of the commercial, it said that girls flag football should be a varsity sport in all 50 states. I completely and totally agree with that. And then there was another one for Uber Eats where Matthew McConaughey was basically going through all these different scenarios, how the NFL is just designed to make people hungry. That was a very creative commercial. But I also like Matthew McConaughey as an actor as well. But the lack of DEI in corporate America, because they started unraveling DEI a couple of years ago once they realized that the George Floyd fervor was over, because that was when corporate America was like, oh, let's hire a whole bunch of black and brown people because that'll make us look like we really care about the plight of black people. And then they started rolling back DEI over the last couple of years. And now it is being reflected with just, it's so boring. They're just unimaginative. One of the more striking visual elements was Lamar's jacket, which had the word Gloria emblazoned across the front. This was a nod to his song Gloria from his upcoming album GNX. But beyond that, Gloria, which means glory in Spanish, symbolized his lyrical prowess and dedication to the art of rap. The jacket represented his belief in the power to elevate music, challenge, and define the culture. In a surprise moment, Hollywood icon Samuel L. Jackson took the stage, dressed as Uncle Sam, a well-known symbol of the U.S. government. His presence wasn't just for show. Jackson's character praised Lamar for, quote, slowing things down before the rapper launched into his now infamous performance of Not Like Us, a diss track aimed at Drake. So dissing Drake is more than just their personal feud. It's what Drake represents in the culture. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Drake either producing or affiliated with Sexy Red? Aren't they some kind of way connected, Rick? The two of them, they got some kind of connection, I think. That is the antithesis to what Kendrick was trying to promote with his very, very complicated set. It's almost embarrassing how many African Americans during Black History Month did not know what they were watching and were just looking to be entertained. That means that we haven't even digested our own history. And I don't even know where to assign blame, because we cannot for a moment think that white people in predominantly white institutions and white public schools, which I think the majority of black children attend public schools, but still the majority of our educators are still white people. They're not going to teach you your history because, first of all, they don't know it. That's number one. Number two, if you only have a certain amount of hours during the school day and a certain amount of days in the school year, whose history are you going to prioritize? Not ours. The moment was seen as a critique of the way mainstream institutions attempt to control and censor artists who speak truth to power. Shout out to Kyle Wallace. Lamar's dancers were dressed in solid red, white, and blue outfits. Some thought that was a reference to gang culture, and maybe it could have been, but others saw a deeper meaning. At one point, the dancers formed the American flag, with Lamar literally dividing them, making a statement about the divisions that exist in America today. It was a visual representation of the struggles faced by black artists navigating the complexities of fame, power, and societal expectations. Tennis superstar Serena Williams shocked fans when she took the stage and performed the Crip Walk, a dance move deeply rooted in West Coast hip-hop culture. It wasn't just a fun dance moment. It was a powerful cultural statement. And given Williams' past rumored relationship with Drake, some saw it as an added jab in the ongoing Drake-Lamar feud. Game over, a final shot at Drake. Lamar didn't hold back when it came to his beef with Drake. Midway through his performance, he dropped the line, quote, "They tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence." It was a direct response to Drake's recent lawsuit and a declaration of Lamar's dominance in the industry. He wrapped up the set with the phrase, "Game over," making it clear that, in his mind, the battle was already won. And at the very end, the stage turned into... So the stage took on various forms. At the very, very end, when he said game over, did you guys notice it was a PlayStation 5 controller? It was a PlayStation controller. And then when he said game over, that's what the stage was representing. But the stage also represented a prison yard as well. So tremendous amounts of artistry and imagery. And I think it also showed how much we don't know about our own culture, even though it is Black History Month. Take a break, come back. We'd love to get your thoughts and feelings on the old halftime show. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you neutral on it? What were your thoughts? 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Also, check out some commentary on the YouTube. If you haven't done so already, go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Hit subscribe, and you'll be able to join our live in-studio camera and subsequent discussion. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community, and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth. This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, you know, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African-American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. Mm-hmm. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. Mm-hmm. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive on Collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. But I like to say that, black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44%, that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Got a few text messages here I'd like to read. Brittany says, yeah, Sherwin, already I'm excited. Thanks, Brittany, for your encouraging words. I felt like I had to do a breakdown because nobody understood what was being said. And there's also another text message I want to read, which I also think symbolizes where we are. But this also helps people better understand and conceptualize how Donald Trump got elected. People are responding to just the easier to digest messages, and that is going to get you duped every single time. If you're concerned about, I suppose, the small things like consumerism, like, oh, gas is too expensive, eggs are too expensive, and you connect the simplest of dots, and Donald Trump says, hey, I'm a businessman, I'm going to make gas cheaper, I'm going to make eggs cheaper. And if you're only responding to that, then you're going to lose sight of what Donald Trump is planning to do once he has your votes and has your attention. It has nothing to do with eggs and gas, but that is how you can capture the mass market, the mass consumers, and the majority of the voters that quite honestly are only reading, comprehending, and understanding at a 6th or an 8th grade level. Alex says, good morning, Sherwin. While driving back from Marquette, Michigan yesterday, I stopped at Burger King and tried the big fish sandwich. It certainly was no McDonald's filet of fish, but some people can eat just anything. I think I said that on Friday, that the McDonald's filet of fish is certainly king of the heap. I'm not even sure what kind of fish swims around in the ocean that's square, but whatever that fish is, I'm glad that McDonald's catches them. Eric says, it is the responsibility of the communicator to communicate a message that the communicatee will understand. Never blame the communicatee for not understanding the message. Absolutely we can. Some things are real complicated, Eric. And if somebody is trying to explain science and physics and virology, you can't dumb certain stuff down to where people with a 6th grade education are going to understand it. Some things are just too complex to be made plain. But that's also not the responsibility of highly intellectual people. Highly intellectual people have challenging words and challenging writings and challenging art and challenging music to dare you to rise to their level. Whenever you mass produce something, it just becomes nothing. Human beings are wired when it comes to food, salt, fat, and sugar. So when you mass produce food, it's French fries and Hostess cakes. And it's not healthy, but it's mass produced because it appeals to the bare minimum of what human beings find desirable in food. Does that make any sense to you? Whenever you mass produce something, it is going to be unhealthy. Whether it's communication, whether it's art, whether it's music, or it's food. If you're trying to appeal to the masses, you've got to go to the lowest common denominator. And that's an unfortunate thing, but that also shows the reality of where we're at. Because imagine if everybody had the same intellectual ability. I'm not even going to say everybody. Black people, we would know exactly what was happening to us. We would know what was coming next, and we would know how to prepare ourselves to be able to fight back. But if you keep us completely in the dark and keep us drunk on consumerism, then we're going to get screwed over and not even know it. That's the whole point. How do you screw people over and have them think that it's their fault that they're being screwed over? Tupac said it. He said, somebody got to explain why I ain't got sugar honey iced tea. He's like, somebody got to explain this. Why am I working this hard and doing this much and black people are still poor and broke? We work harder than anybody else. In fact, we built a whole country for free, got nothing to show for it. Somebody got to explain that. Well, that's the explanation. They don't want you to know what they're doing. You think it's a coincidence that Donald Trump has got not only the wealthiest individuals on planet Earth as his right and left hands, these are also the people that control the algorithms of the information that we share amongst one another. You think that that's just some random coincidence? They are trying to combine all of their forces, including their influence, including their wealth. Now I guess Elon Musk is going after the Department of Education. When I say going after the Department of Education, getting the data of individuals who have student loans. Elon Musk has already gone through the IRS. Dude has our Social Security numbers. Can you imagine what he can do with algorithms when he has all of our income tax data? All of our income, what we pay in taxes, where we live, he has all of it. He's going to aggregate this data. It's crazy. I saw a T-Mobile commercial last night promoting their use of Starlink. So Starlink is this new satellite system where there's hundreds of satellites. And Starlink is an Elon Musk company as well, where you'll be able to get cell service anywhere on planet Earth. They say anywhere you can look up and see the sky, no matter where you are, no matter how remote of a location you are, your cell phone will work because of this new collaboration between T-Mobile and Starlink. So not only can you be tracked, they're going to know all of your data. They already have our conversations. Apple said some years ago that they turned over text messages. Sprint, I think, did it too. Sprint is gone now. Sprint has been acquired by T-Mobile. But all of our communication is now in the hands of other folks, including our government, because they have to watch out for terrorism threats. And you know the biggest threat to Americans is not some foreign country. Well, soon it will be. But right now the biggest threat to Americans is other Americans. So you have to monitor our data. You have to monitor our cell phone calls and our text messages and our photographs and our locations to try and predict when the next terror attack from within is going to take place. That's all true. It's all factual stuff. Now, you don't want to explain that stuff to the masses because, oh my God, we might decide to take our privacy seriously. And if we did that, then these tricks that they are playing on us simply wouldn't work anymore because we would be too intelligent. I said all that to say this. It is not the job of those who are operating at a higher level to dumb down what they say so that and all the masses are going to do is reject it anyway. Because then they will see how they have been used as fodder. And then that's going to cause a whole nother kind of crazy revolution. Jay, the math teacher, says the halftime show was excellent, very thoughtful, very intentional, creative, and well choreographed. A language was spoken directly to us, America, and the world, which we all interpreted differently based on our experiences. What is this? DW says, not DW, Dwayne says, Kendrick Lamar, good performance on halftime. At least I understood every word he was saying, not like some rappers. Eric says, I disagree strongly. Intelligence is not the issue. If you want to send a message, it is communication 101, that the message is understood. But here's the thing, Eric, if you're communicating to a very specific people who are under threat in this country, you don't want to arouse a suspicion of the ignorance of their oppressor. So you know how they did this war on woke? Like, oh, everything is going to be anti-woke and, Ron DeSantis is going to pass all these bills and all these laws, get all this woke stuff. What did Donald Trump say? And what did Pete Hegseth say, who is now the Secretary of the Department of Defense leading the Pentagon, some 3.2 million people? We're getting all this woke stuff out of the Pentagon, all this DEI, all of this woke stuff. You don't want to appeal to people or arise the suspicion of people that are anti-black and anti-brown at the highest levels. What Kendrick Lamar did is he spoke to the woke. Meaning if you're anti-woke, you have no idea what he said or what he did. You don't know any of the symbolism. You don't know that Grand National that he was standing on was the car that was made in the year in which he was born, a car that was underestimated, like Kendrick Lamar's underestimated. The man is only 5'5". He's a small little fella, but my, oh my, does he have a lot of power in his words. You are not supposed to arise the suspicion of your oppressor. So if you speak a language that your oppressor shuns, which is wokeness, this means that black people that are operating at a higher level can communicate out in the open, and our oppressors won't even know what we're talking about. They're just going to think that we're entertaining each other with some very creative slang. Good. They're not supposed to know. And Kendrick tested the waters yesterday, and I come to find out that we're dumber than I thought. And I say that because I love black people now, but we're screwed. We're screwed and won't even see it coming. Take a break, come back. I guess I'll check on the YouTube, see what you guys are clamoring about. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The award-winning 101.7 The Truth proudly celebrates Black excellence and the most monumental moments in our history. Tune in all month as we celebrate the voices, stories, and achievements that have shaped history and inspired the future. 101.7 The Truth's celebration of Black History Month is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, College Bound, Character Strong, Educators Credit Union, Achieving More Together, the Freighter, and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Let's push ahead. And American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Salutations! It's your Uncle Sam, and this is the Great American Game.
My Gemini twin back powering up. No more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bare hard truth. Etiquette speak with a vigilant tongue. Predicate this time is I'm carrying heavier hearts right now. I got power lift with Olympians too. Carrying various darts right now. I deserve this like tiramisu. We go body for body. I hand you a body. I'm probably a better masseuse. Really don't bother nobody, but they running by me. If I got to clear out the room, you would not get the picture. If I had to sit you for hours in front of the.
Let me stop. I'll play this whole 13 minutes, 25 seconds. Let's talk to someone who I think was a main choreographer of the performances that we saw last night. Oh, hello, Bob.
No, I'm not a choreographer, but I
know you're not. I was kidding, Bob. I know you're not.
Yeah, you're getting smart early. You know, I mean, I got two very important subjects, Super Bowl and another subject, but, it looks like I ain't going to get to the second subject. And it's very interesting to me. And it would be interesting to your callers, but I'll get to it, probably to the day tomorrow. But Super Bowl, the rap, it was a shame that Trump had to look at all the blacks at the Super Bowl. That's one thing that was probably disgusting to him. And, the rap gave white folks, racist white folks, a chance to say, yeah, we're not like you, but, you need a kidney. I bet you we'll be like you. I think, but, I understand what he really meant. But, when it comes to rap, I don't necessarily like rap. However, the reason is because if you take the music out of rap, you got poetry. And who's going to keep buying poetry? Now you take the music out of Chaka Khan or the Delphonics, you don't buy that record. So rap, and see why rap, it to me is a way of verbally attacking white folks without physically attacking white folks. But it's okay. I listen to it. I get one record or something if the music sounds good. But it's music that makes
Bob,
the
who's
rap
your favorite
sound
rapper?
Good. Oh, my goodness.
And rap is not, hip-hop is far more diverse of a method of communicating than just talking about white folks. It is a way in which people can express their feelings, their thoughts, their creativity. They can shed light on oppressive things that are happening. It is a way in which people communicate, put some music, but the human vocal cords and the creativity of our vocabulary is the instrument. That's much bigger than just making white people mad. White people are mad just at our presence, so you don't have to rap to make them mad. But who's your favorite rapper, Bob?
I sure like that Tupac song. Oh, man, that's a jam.
Oh, which one, Bob? Which Tupac song do you like? That one? That one Tupac song. That's the one, the good one.
Oh, you know the one.
Yeah.
This is a jam. You already know.
What's it called?
And your area. Huh?
What's it called?
Oh, I can't think of it, but the very most popular Tupac song.
Bob, you have no idea.
I'm getting up there. And your era was Bill Cosby and the mall. It's interesting because in Illinois it was the same way as Wisconsin. The mall and Bill Cosby. I got so aggravated when my kids wanted me to take them to the mall.
Hang on a second. Bob, hold on, wait now. So you were reducing my era to Bill Cosby in the mall, huh?
That's your era.
All right.
I seen my kids talking, handling the English language, and I looked at them and I said, oh, I didn't talk that well, handling the English language like that. And then, but it's one word that kept me saying, you can take a person out of the ghetto, but you can't take, and you even say, and Carrie even says, ain't. That one word, y'all can't get rid of that word. And I get you proud to be black is what I'm going to explain to you about the next time I call. Because that's very interesting, and I got some interesting things to say about it.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do, man.
And Bill Cosby was probably more your era than my era. He was starring in Uptown Saturday Night. He was in I Spy in the 1960s. He was in all sorts of movies. He didn't make it to television until The Cosby Show, which was his, not The Cosby Show, Fat Albert, which was his animated series, and The Cosby Show didn't premiere until 1982 or 1983. Bill Cosby had 20 years in Hollywood of being a celebrity before he got to my generation. He's a multi-generational celebrity. probably did more in your era than in mine. That's where he got his foundation and his formations. That's when America fell in love with.
That's where I have to tell you, you young buck like you call Rick, that was your era that was so impressive. Bill Cosby, how he doctor.
I just had to get rid of him. I don't even know why. I let him talk until maybe he'll make a point if I let him get to it, but he just doesn't. I guess we'll talk about the Philadelphia Eagles next. I hope that they don't go to the White House. And then, Rick, you said you have a question. You've been dying to ask me a question, so maybe you'll ask your question. All right, we'll do Rick's question about money and finances or women or love. I don't know what it is. We'll talk about that in hour 2. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. Like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice
from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
We have Friday Night Hoops on The Truth. This Friday, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to take on the Wright State Raiders.
Blocked by McKee, pulled down by Stillwell, 3.5, and A.J. McKee, playing with 4 fouls, blocks the would-be game-tying three-pointer.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock. Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was a song that myself and Common wrote. 2 brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Your family history of prostate cancer increases the risk for all the men in your family. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Prostate cancer is most treatable when it's detected early. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. For more than 30 years, PCF, a leader in scientific breakthroughs, has funded cutting-edge research that speeds new treatments into clinics, helping patients live longer with fewer complications. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life, and it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Psst, I see dead people.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Let's see what we got here. Super Bowl 59 winners and losers. Eagles come together as Chiefs fall apart. Even after 2 weeks of predictions and breakdowns of a title showdown between the teams that had met just 2 years prior, Super Bowl 59 still managed to produce a stunning result. So not only are the Kansas City Chiefs a lackluster football team, like they played really horrible. So they suck as a team. They do. And maybe they let their previous Super Bowl championships get to their heads, but they were awful. I always thought that Patrick Mahomes was overrated. I don't even understand how some quarterbacks get as good as they are. Like Tom Brady, I think Tom Brady sold his soul to the devil. A couple of you guys commented on the anti-hate commercial where you got Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady in this ad where they appear together talking about reducing or ending the hate. You know what happens? Trump supporters, and Snoop didn't used to be, but something happened and he became one, so whatever. Snoop is not someone that I would ever look to for political guidance anyway. These people are now doing like a repentance because they feel really, really bad for promoting Donald Trump or supporting Trump. And now they just want to all come together. Can't we all just get along? No. All the work that we did to try and get people to see the truth. And I did more arguing and fighting and debating and having diatribes with black people than with anybody else because we were just thoroughly convinced that Donald Trump this second time around was going to be even better for us than he was the first time. And I would argue we didn't have anything to show for what Donald Trump did the first time. And so now you have all these people that did support Trump, and now they're all going to come around and say that they voted for Kamala Harris. No, they didn't. I think some of you forget that we have you on the record, on podcasts, on YouTube videos of your overt support for Donald Trump. And now that he's president, it's like those are the people that are the most sorry. Like, Sherwin, did you see what Trump is trying to do now? Oh, my goodness, I can't believe this guy. We tried to tell you. But you know what it is? They've done such a good job of discrediting certain media that whenever we say, hey, everybody, like this is what is actually going to happen, this is the direction the country is going to go in, you don't believe us. When Donald Trump was running around saying all the news that disagreed with him was fake, that actually stuck. And then when we tried to do our level best to communicate what our future was going to look like, we still remained discredited. And so now here we are. The Philadelphia Eagles rebuffed the Kansas City Chiefs' three-peat bid in decisive fashion, rolling to a 40-22 victory at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. That wasn't even as close as the final score indicated. The revenge factor was high for the Eagles, who set things right after they fell short against the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57. As the closing chapter of this game transpired, a whole new Philadelphia Eagles dynasty could be in the making. And they go to some highlights, and I'm not doing all that because I'm not a sports show. So I didn't see what my colleague Kyle Wallace said. I don't know, people were sending me text messages. Oh, Kyle is bashing the halftime show. I don't even know where Kyle posted it at. But he's got his show, Truth to Power, that's on after my program, so I'm sure he'll defend whatever he saw, and maybe Kyle just wanted to be entertained. I have no idea, but I don't know what he said. Whatever he said or whatever his interpretation of the halftime show was made a lot of y'all mad because I think that he may have missed some things, but again, I haven't read what Kyle said. All right, Jay, the math teacher, said even down to making sure all of his guys/dancers with gold teeth had a group moment showing them. I think that was supposed to be symbolism of the prison yard, if I'm not mistaken, Jay, the math teacher. Millicent said Kool Mo D is the best rapper of all times. Well, that's certainly a falsehood. Kool Mo D? Wow, that's one of the rappers that you just forget about. Huh, all right. Well, to each their own, I suppose. Rick, what's your question? I'm dying to know what it is.
You said, what's my question?
Yes. Well, now you got to answer the phone.
Yeah, I do. I have a job to do. Give me 1 minute.
All right. Rick said he's got a question about money and finance. I'm not the person you're supposed to ask about that kind of stuff. you all have your own objectives when it comes to money and how you want to invest your money and what your goals are. Everybody's goals are different. And if your goal is to be rich, easier said than done. But if your real true goal was to be rich, you're probably a little late. But what's rich though, too? What's wealthy? I guess that's all subjective. All right, what do you got, Rick?
So, my question of the day for you, Sherwin, is what's the value of $1? And if $1 has a value, does it lose interest after you save money?
Yes, the dollar does have value. $1 is worth $1.
I mean, of course, $1 is worth $1.
If you
but I'm
save
saying,
it,
like,
yes,
does it have
it'll lose value?
Yeah, do it holds value? Just like, do your life holds value? Do your car holds value? Do $1 holds value?
Those are apples and oranges concepts. So if you save money over time because of this thing called inflation, what your dollar can buy, your purchasing power is going to go down because over time things get more expensive. And so the dollar becomes less valuable over time. That's why you don't save your money. You have to invest your money. You have to put your money into things and instruments and products that can appreciate with value. Some people think real estate is the way. Real estate is a surefire way, quite honestly. If you buy a property, you get a mortgage on it. Maybe you have some renters in that property. They're paying your mortgage, and then over time, that property is worth more money than you purchased it for. At the same time, your mortgage is going to be less and less. So that is a way in which people can get some appreciation out of their dollar. Some people invest in precious metals. They invest in platinum or palladium or gold or silver because over time, precious metals, as they become fewer and fewer, they will gain in value as well. But if you just put $1,000 in a savings account and you let it sit there for 10 years, maybe you'll earn a little bit of interest, but the interest that you earn on your $1,000 in your passbook savings account will not keep pace with inflation. So but I can't look at money, valuing money like valuing a life, because one is replaceable, the other is not. If I lose my money, I can go get a job and make some money back. If I get shot in the face and I'm dead, then I'm dead. Right? So one has more value than the other. All right? Drop a bomb on. Glad I could be here to answer your questions, Rick.
Thank you. See? I told you it was a financial question. It wasn't a jokey joke or anything. It was something on my mind. I was just driving this morning, and I'm like, you know what? This is a question for Sherwin. I think it would be some good content. Let me ask him on the air, because I was listening. I can't remember if I was listening or if I was talking to somebody, and they said the value of saving money is pointless. Like you could save money all you want, but it loses value after time.
Yes, saving. Like putting money under your mattress, probably not the best idea, because your money needs to be the hardest thing working about you, right? People put in a certain amount of effort and a certain amount of labor to make money, but don't you want your money to work as hard as you do? That is the cornerstone philosophy of investing your money. If you just put whatever money you have to invest in blue chip, tried and true stocks of high-performing, well-known companies, you're going to get 10%, 15% every single year. Well, on average, you're going to get that over a span of time. Some years you're going to lose 20%. And our problem is if we buy some Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, God knows how much Bitcoin is, $100,000. And you buy 1,000th of a Bitcoin, whatever, and then you check your Bitcoin prices and you see, Bitcoin has gone down to 97,000, now 90,000, now 88,000. We panic and we sell because it's going down, because we don't want to lose more money, not realizing that everything is cyclical. And if Bitcoin is going down, technically that is when you're supposed to buy more at a lower value. So when it goes back up, you have a larger share of Bitcoin that you purchased at a lower price. But when we see our stock prices going down, we sell because we panic, and we always end up losing. That's happened a number of times with us and how we invest. Because I don't ever give people advice. I say, here's where I'm putting my money right now this year based on the economic conditions as I understand them. And then people will do the exact same thing. And then when the stock goes down, or when the value of their portfolio goes down, they get mad at me like I had something to do with it. You have to be patient. It takes a good 25 or 30 years. Why do you think your pensions take so long? because over the lifetime of your work, your pensions will accrue value. Some years are going to be up 30%, some years are going to be down 40%, but it all kind of levels out over a period of time. And that's it. Wealth generation comes with time. Problem is we are incredibly impatient, but that's also indicative of us being consumers. We need money right now. We need this profit right now. Black businesses, same thing. They don't invest for the future. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen a black business spend $10,000 in a month on inventory, on staff, on incidentals, on maintenance of the property, whatever the case may be. They spend $10,000 in a month. They may make $5,000, right? So at the end of the month, they got $5,000 in the bank. They're like, look, I've got $5,000. No, you don't. No, you do not. You spent 10. You only have $5,000. And how much of that do you put into advertising and promoting your business? That is where we fail dramatically. We just are so behind when it comes to advertising and promoting our businesses, or we think that Facebook is the only way to advertise and promote our businesses. Unless you're doing sponsored ads on Facebook, and chances are people are not going to see your stuff. Mark Zuckerberg is no fool. If you think that you can just put a bunch of stuff on Facebook and think you can build a whole business or build a wealth empire just by putting a bunch of stuff on Facebook, that's not how that works. It's going to be very, very limited who is going to see whatever it is that you post. And people say that to me all the time. Oh, sure, when I put it on Facebook, didn't you see it? Hell no, I didn't see it. My algorithm is very specific, and whatever you post may not show up in my timeline or my news feed or whatever the hell you call it. All right, let's see what we got here. Linda says, I was so glad Trump orange ass got front row seat to the black diaspora brought by Kendrick and Samuel. Trump didn't know what was going on. Somebody explained it to him, I'm sure, at some point. They had to break it down like a child. I'm sure he didn't like what he saw. Some of that performance, I'm sure, was catered to the fact that Donald Trump was in attendance, because that was, imagine targeting Trump and Trump not even knowing it. And so with him and those like him being, quote unquote, anti-woke, it's the biggest irony I think that I've ever witnessed in my entire life, because we can talk about how horrible chattel slavery was for us, but in a lot of cases, they never could enslave our mind because we still kept our dreams and our hopes alive. And a lot of us right now, whether we realize it or not, we are the living dreams of our ancestors that could not do half of the things that we even take for granted, okay? They did not always enslave our minds. But now that the tables have turned, and whenever people are anti-woke and anti-DEI, now they're the slaves. They're the slave to their own ignorance. And if you do not understand and do not have the ability to digest black history, not just the books and the poems, but what were people saying? What messages were they communicating about the struggle at that point in time? And also what lessons they learned that are passed on to the rest of us. If you miss that part, I feel bad for you. Because now we're at a point where, you know, we want black people to come together, of course, but we can't. Let me tell you why we can't and why it's a pipe dream. Because here's the thing. If it was that easy, we'd have done it already. We don't have the same information. That's the problem. We all have different levels of understanding, and you cannot move forward as a group for the betterment of the overall group unless we all have the same facts. Like, black folks can't even agree on vaccines. We can't agree on types of education that our children need to receive. We can't agree on what we do with our money. We can't agree on, are we going to shop at black-owned businesses or are we not going to shop at black-owned businesses? We also can't agree on what black people need to offer when it comes to businesses, because we just continue to sell the wrong stuff to one another. We just can't agree. And unless we all have the exact same information, unless we all have the same understanding of the lessons that history has taught us, we are not going to go anywhere. Think about it. If it was so easy for us to come together, we would. Curly says that Harrison commercial, the Harrison Ford commercial was long. I turned away 3 times. It was still on. So was that the Harrison, because I think part of the Super Bowl was sponsored by Jeep. And that's when they got Harrison Ford to do a several minute long mini movie. He's like, oh, I like Jeeps, even though my last name is Ford. I guess if that's the commercial that you're speaking of. But all in all, the commercials were not very entertaining to me. And I think that's a reflection of corporate America now shunning DEI. Your creativity is going out the window. I'm going to take a break, come back, talk to Linda on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to the award-winning 101.7 The Truth Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be speaking with Ray Walker III, Sales Director at Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. He will discuss how they became the go-to printing company in Milwaukee and why they go above and beyond to satisfy their customers. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with the Milwaukee staple Great Impressions this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Visit Pella at the Nary Spring Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. Find out why Pella has the best wood warranty in the industry. Learn about their incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. And how Pella's professional installers work fast and year-round. The timing is impeccable. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You also have no worries thanks to Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and Pella Care inspection. That's February 14th through the 16th at Nary Spring Home Improvement Show. Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Whether you're an artist playing accountant, a barista trying to be a bean counter, or a student just looking to get started, the UW Credit Union app lets you be free to be you with free credit scores, free online bill pay, and the ability to send money to friends. Because with fewer fees, you can do more of what you love. UW Credit Union, here for every you. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Let's talk to Miss Shack. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Professor. Good morning, the Comma Brands. And good morning to all the good black and white people of
America and Wisconsin. America. Hey, Sherwin.
Hey, Sherwin. Wow, this is exciting. I wanted to say this because I'm thinking of all of this race-based society and how the attack on black people now once again. has really set us back 50, 100 years. I don't know, but it just, takes me back to that moment when Black people realized that they were in, and we are now too realizing that we're in a land that we're in danger. We're like, we're in danger because even though we were kidnapped and brought here and just really trying to live a decent life, we have to be so cautious of, Amy's son. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just leave it there. But this is what I said this what came to me about racism. I get so deep in my thoughts. Racism is like fear, false evidence appearing as real. And Alicia Keys said it best. DEI is not a threat. It's a gift. And even though the reverse psychology has white people, thinking that it's a threat, this is also what I came across over the weekend because, I get out and I talk to young Black men and that I feel is an endangered species at this point mentally because they all over the place, Sherwin. They all over the place. But what I'm hearing from white men, Black men, is, putting out rhetoric saying that they're exposing the waste and the corruption the Dems are hiding. For example, political, this white guy was saying, and these Black men were supporting that they got $8 million from the Dems, and after Trump's executive order cut all of that, the political did not get their checks. So it's the same ignorant rhetoric that is still playing out. And I'm thinking that is this to push the third term through for Trump, because they're trying to do that too, and they drawing up the bill, and it's like the supporters are just really still showing their ignorance because they trying to reverse the psychology and say that it's the Dems that are hiding corruption, and that's why Trump has to go through this, reduce government spending. It's just. And I'd like to know, where's this money going once he reduce and save all this money?
If they actually are, so right now they're just uncovering where money is being spent, but then they're lying to the American people about what they're finding. So a couple of weeks ago they said, we're giving money to for aid in Gaza and in Palestine, and so we're giving them $50 million for condoms. Total lie. We're giving them $80 million for aid, for food, for health care. And in that is reproductive health care, a small fraction of that money. But they're saying, we're taking $50 million away from Gaza because they're only buying condoms with it. Ultimately, what's going to happen is they're just going to give that money to rich people. If they're able to uncover $1 trillion, it goes back to the Treasury. They're just going to have a tax bill that's going to give Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg a lower tax rate. We're not ever going to get that money back, and that's the part that people don't get. It does not matter how much government spending they uncover. They're like, they're wasting all this money on this, that, and the other. The American people are not getting that money back. At no point are we going to get that money back. That's going to go to rich people. That is the whole point of this country. You convince people that are poor that the government is stealing your money, and we're going to uncover where your money is going, and then we're going to give it back to you. No, they're not. They're going to give it to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I thought, too. But then I thought, too, even though the Dems are now coming out in drove and, shouting, we had our own Gwendolyn Moore going up to the Elon Musk office and Trump using it as an attack, saying that, they're wild and violent. But I just feel like this thing is really getting outrageous because also some KKK showed up in Michigan and got ran out by Black men who responded with, to their threat. And so I just think that it's getting really, really contentious. And my final point I wanted to make about Valentine's week is, I did say that I was suggesting that, suggesting intimacy without sexuality. And I think another example of that is tantra sex. I'll leave it at that, Sherwin.
But isn't tantra sex still sex?
No, it's not. It's where you are, sitting face to face with each other. You are, around each other. You're touching and all of that. You're touching. You're getting into the energy and to the chemistry and the synergy without the sexuality.
I don't want to do that.
Boy, man.
I don't want to sit around. Just want to sit around and touch somebody. That's a I think I know what it is. Where you do like breathing exercises and then, you feel like a whole body orgasm, but it's not sexual. That's not the kind of orgasm I want.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
It's just a variation of expressing love and intimacy, Sherwin. We are more powerful than we have been programmed.
That's something you would do if you already are connected to somebody and you're already in love with them. Maybe that's something that a married couple can rediscover. But that's not something you do on Valentine's Day. You don't just meet somebody.
That's something you do in the first, you can do it at different points in times of your journey in your relationship. But as far as people who are just now learning each other, I would say do it within the 90 days before you give it up, because you are engaging in that. You're learning that person. You're learning that person's temperament, their patience, their insight, their intellect, their IQ. All of this you need to know before you expose them to that deeper level of sexuality.
Linda, you do all that stuff by hanging out with somebody, going on dates with them, and talking to them on the phone. That's what you do. You don't got to do no tantric freakiness. I ain't got to do all that breathing and touching.
You can do all 1,001 things. You don't have to do 100. Do 1,001 things. Yam, jam.
Nobody got time for all that stuff, Linda. I'm busy. I got to work. I got a job. I ain't got no time for all that mess. But all right, whatever works for you.
You're trying to get to the objective, and I'm saying enjoy the journey.
What is the objective, Linda?
That's all.
Tell me what the objective is. You think it's sex? No, it's not.
It's enjoying. Yes, it is.
Sex is not the objective. Do you understand that sex most of the time is a huge disappointment? It's a huge disappointment. It's not worth
That's because you rush to it.
Oh my Jesus!
You rush to it. It's a poetry. It's a soliloquy.
If you have chemistry with that person, but just rushing to have sex with somebody, so even if you take your time and you get to know somebody and you get to know and the feeling and the emotions and the feeling, it still can be a disappointment. Then
well,
what?
You know what?
I just wasted all this time.
You'll know that before you'll know within, science says within the first 4 minutes, you know if you like a person.
Linda, you're going to be by yourself on Valentine's Day. You got a date? Do you have a date?
Sherwin, I'm trying to tell you.
Do you have a date for Valentine's Day while you're talking about all this tantric touching and the rubbing and the loving and the breathing and the exercises and the rubbing?
A single, independent, successful woman always has a blue book, Sherwin. I mean, a black book.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Do you have a day for Valentine's Day?
But I choose to be abstinent because I'm working on ascending spiritually right now.
Do you have a date for Valentine's Day? Got nothing to do with your abstinence. What?
Yes, it does.
Maybe you need to be on the first dimension so you can get you a date.
I'm on a whole different level, Sherwin. We can ascend to a higher dimension and still operate on a 3D dimension as well. And so I'm ascending spiritually in my own personal empowerment. And so I find that no, I don't self-pleasure at this time because because whatever you're thinking about, you can get distracted. So you really have to know how to manage the power of orgasm. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep.
No, please don't. Thank you, Lynn. That was very valuable information.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, then. Okay, bye. I think that's why she act like that. She doesn't do self-pleasure. Linda, you need a release. I can tell. She's real wound up. I'd imagine as we get closer to Valentine's Day, we probably will be discussing all things love because Valentine's Day is on a Friday this year. Rick, you got a day for Valentine's Day? I'm assuming you probably have a couple.
No, I work Friday.
Oh.
I get that money.
But you don't want to take time to hang out with your special person?
No, I'd rather make money. I have bills.
Oh, fair enough. All right, then. Well, I'm
buy them flowers, but...
Oh.
Other than that, I'm not going on a date. I got bills. I got credit card bills, stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough. I would tell you guys what I'm going to do, but it's none of your damn business.
It is our business.
No, it's not.
You're a public figure. Everything you do is our business.
I don't think so.
What you doing? So what you doing Friday, Sherwin? Sure.
Friday and Saturday.
Oh, you got a double whammy. Now, when you say Friday and Saturday, is the activities that's happening Friday that's going to roll into Saturday?
No.
So you're not
separate things.
So are you going to say good night to that person, or are you going to say good morning?
I don't know yet. That's not the point, though.
So you got two different dates? Or, I'm trying to understand why you're busy Friday and Saturday with a particular reason.
So a friend of mine, she and I were supposed to go to this restaurant. I've been trying to go to this restaurant with her for a while, but schedules have not been lining up. So she asked me a couple of weeks ago. She was like, hey, I don't have anything going on February 14th. I'm available. I'll be your Valentine's date if you don't have anything going on. But then she stopped herself. She said, if you do have a Valentine's date, I will also take February 15th. She said, I'm open that whole weekend so we can hang out on the 14th if you don't already have a prior engagement, or I will gladly take the 15th.
She wants the GTD, dog.
What the hell? No!
Yeah, she wants the GTD. She got the draws.
It's not that.
She wants the draws.
Our relationship is special, and sex won't make it more special. Why are y'all so perverted?
For one, what real woman wants the side chick day? Be real.
She values my time, Rick.
Oh, my God.
She values my time.
So she values your time with another woman on Valentine's Day?
Maybe she's not looking at it the way you all are, you bunch of perverts. She's like, I just want to spend time with Sherwin. If Sherwin has got other commitments on that special day, then I can hang out with him the next day. She's willing to let me do me and do whatever plans I have on. I didn't respond to her yet.
So who's more gullible, you or her?
Neither one of us.
Oh, God.
We're mature adults. Can I take a break now?
Sure.
I feel like I'm being targeted right now. It feels very racist. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
TikTok, you don't stop. Stop to the TikTok, you don't stop. Stop to the TikTok, you don't stop. Stop to the TikTok, you don't stop. Stop to the
So I was reading some of the comments on YouTube, and I saw something that can't be true. That Coca-Cola called immigration and customs enforcement on their own employees. Maybe they're taking serious the threats that Donald Trump has levied on companies, businesses, firms, and corporations, that if you hire illegal immigrants, you may potentially be fined. From the San Diego Border Report, videos on social media are circulating showing Latinos rejecting or turning away from American products in response to mass deportations taking place around the country. One video shows a family about to have dinner together when a young man emphatically tells his mother, "How could you do that when Coca-Cola is turning its back on Mexicans?" In response, the mom takes a large bottle of Coke and pours its contents down the drain. That don't make no damn sense. You already bought the Coke. You might as well drink it. You already gave Coca-Cola your money. This is part of an effort by a group called Freeze Latino Movement to boycott American companies while poking fun of the ongoing deportations launched by the Trump administration and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. The activists say this is their way of turning their backs on United States companies, asking consumers not to spend their money on American corporations. This puts African Americans in a very unusual situation, does it not? When we think about us and our situation as black people in this country and how long we have fought to be understood, let alone recognized, to what extent do we want to use whatever capital, social capital or political capital we have to help another group? Like, I'm very serious about this now, and I don't want to make this entirely about race, but when and where has the Latino community, I don't even have to go outside of Milwaukee, when and where have they lended theirself to our struggle? I know that they have a chamber of commerce that competes with ours. Not only do they have a chamber of commerce that competes with our chambers of commerce here as black people, their chambers are decidedly conservative. Where has there been a bridging the gap between the north side and the south side? Because they always lump us together. Oh, you know, the people of color. People of color don't necessarily get along nor work together. We're all individual people that have different interests. We've got different trajectories. We've got different goals. And here's the other thing. If you choose to come to this country for a better life than the country that you were from, you're already on a different trajectory than we are. We didn't choose to come to America, unless you're an African that came here. And even the Africans that come here, you came to an America that was more willing to accept you because of the work that civil rights leaders did before you got here. So America is more palatable to you, because it's not like Africa was emptying out its continent to send Africans over to America to help us with our struggle. They didn't do that. They didn't. No, and I'm not blaming them for that either. But black people have got to take an inventory of, like, who are we going to help? Like, if I see a person getting deported, what y'all really want me to do? Hey, ICE, stop. No, take me instead. Now, I'm not going to snitch. I'm not going to be cooperative with ICE. Sherwin, tell me where those Mexican immigrants just went. Did they go left or right? I'm like, yeah, I ain't seen nothing, dog. But that's just me not being a snitch. But can we as black people afford to go and assist another group of people when they have been unwilling to assist us? You got to remember, Latinos, when they get the opportunity, they'll turn white in a second. They'll marry outside of their race, change their last name, dye their hair blonde, learn English real good, and you won't even be able to tell. And then they will participate in our oppression as well. But also, they have a country that they come from. They got a history. They got their own schools and doctors and hospitals and engineers and scientists, whatever. All of those things, black people have to create here in a really adverse environment. And we also know that a bunch of Latino men voted for Donald Trump, and a bunch of them regret that. Again, that's not my problem. I don't know what y'all want me to do about that. We got to pick and choose as black folks who we are going to help. And so we would start with the people that have already lended themselves to being our allies. And I'm not even sure who those people are. I used to think that the white folks were with us, or at least some of them were, because they used to put the little Black Lives Matter signs. Remember that in the yard? They had little yard signs. They put signs in the window. You know what that was for? So that wouldn't nobody loot their house during the protest, because they took all the signs down now. But I also thought that America was turning a corner with Barack Obama. I got fooled again there, too, because the next logical political step would have been a continuation of someone like Barack Obama, but we went to Donald Trump after Obama. So I'm kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place here. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to experience vulnerability for the very first time in this new Trump era. I'm like, what do you want? What do you want from us? We try to tell y'all. You are not going to like what this man does to the Republic of the United States. You are going to feel what it's like to be oppressed, to have a different desire for your government, and Trump is going to move in whatever direction he sees fit, not the direction you see fit. Now I got these stories here. This dude is about to put a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. Do you know what that's going to do to the cost of everything? I need you to think for a moment how many things are in just your arm's reach that are made out of either steel or aluminum. Everything is going to go up 25%, and that's just the tariff, not to mention the profit that's going to be on top of that. Forget building construction, home construction, auto repair, all of those things. Any industrial equipment, everything is going to get more expensive, and the dollar is going to maintain its value at best, probably lose its value at worst. And that is a bad thing for the economy, but as long as Donald Trump, and his people are doing okay, he don't care about the rest of us. New tariffs loom. President Donald Trump said he would announce a 25% tariff today on steel and aluminum imports. Trump also said he planned to announce massive new reciprocal tariffs this week, which could match other countries' tariffs on U.S. goods dollar for dollar. These moves come as the president is expected to sign another round of executive orders this afternoon. So when another country puts tariffs on American-made goods, let's say France puts a 25% tariff on American-made and assembled products. And let's say they like to drive Fords in France. You know, Ford will make specific vehicles for certain international markets. Ford will make vehicles that are available in France and Portugal and Spain and in Germany that are not available here because European markets are different, you see. And so here's what happens. You have a number of people that are working for Ford, and they work on the assembly line or at the plant where they assemble vehicles for foreign countries, right? And if there's a 25% tariff on those vehicles that are made in America, then people in European countries are not going to buy those Fords anymore because they're going to be too expensive. You understand where I'm going with this? That's going to cause massive layoffs at those Ford plants and Chevy plants and Stellantis plants. Anything made in the United States that employs American workers that is sold overseas, and those overseas countries hit us with the same tariffs that we're hitting them with, then they're going to lay off American workers. And I think you know what that does to the economy. But you guys wanted a businessman, and apparently you got one. Take a break, come back, continue our conversation on the other side. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. If you haven't done so already, join us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 101.7 The Truth, and hit subscribe. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth proudly celebrates Black excellence and the most monumental moments in our history. Tune in all month as we celebrate the voices, stories, and achievements that have shaped history and inspired the future. 1017 The Truth's celebration of Black History Month is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, College Bound, Character Strong, Educators Credit Union, Achieving More Together, the Freighter, and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Let's push ahead. And American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit freighter.com/heart.
People often wonder, what's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're more than just a financial institution. We're a team of people who are actively invested in the next generation and in the communities where you live and work. We're in classrooms teaching financial literacy, in neighborhoods building homes and relationships, and in local communities lending a helping hand. We believe when communities thrive, we all thrive. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together, insured by NCUA.
Community is more than where you live. It's the people in it who show up every day and help it thrive. During Black History Month and year-round, AARP recognizes the everyday excellence of those who give back to their Wisconsin communities. We believe that when our efforts drive change for the greater good, we all thrive together. Connect with us and learn what AARP is doing locally and how we can make our communities better for all ages. Visit aarp.org/WI. That's aarp.org/WI.
Paid for by AARP.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You say you want a revolution. Well, you know, we all want to change the world.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017, in case you don't have it. Rick, you all right? You good?
I'm fine. I'm just wondering why the choice of that song, DJ Sher?
Because it's Revolution by the Beatles. Got to play music that appeals to the masses.
So I have another question.
Oh, good Lord. All right, what is it?
So it was Jill Heron Scott, that said the revolution will be televised. Will not be televised, right? Or was it
Scott Heron?
Yeah, Heron.
Yes.
What did he mean by that saying? Because that's a legendary saying, and I never took it upon myself to do the research or ask questions, but he was a real philosopher, and I know you're a fan of his, and I just want to know, what did he mean by that?
The revolution is something that takes place in your mind. You have to begin to change your mode of thinking and understanding and become a critical thinker. From that, the revolution will follow, and that's not anything that's going to be on TV. We first have to change how we think and how we feel about our conditions. That is the first revolution. You cannot broadcast what is in our mind on television. That's all that means. I think you just wanted me to say that so you could drop a bomb.
Because it's Monday. You got knowledge and you need to utilize it. Dropping knowledge on them. Dropping bombs on them.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, let me see here. What is this here? There it is.
This is what I was talking about. Yep, this one right here.
He basically explains it in this early rap poem.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
Was this part of the Black Panther movement as well or
The revolution
not?
will not be televised. The revolution will not be
Like, was this their mindset and mentality, or this is something solely on him?
I think it was a reflection of black consciousness at the time, when we were decidedly more revolutionary than we are right now. Like right now, I think we've gotten comfortable with some of the opportunities that we have gotten. So now black people can actually pursue their dreams, and you can get an education, and you can start a business, and you can buy a house anywhere you want because we have fair housing legislation. And so when you give people a little bit of opportunity, they stop fighting. What we seem to either not remember, or we think that white supremacy eventually is gonna just give up. If black people make progress and we show that we can be good, patriotic Americans like everybody else, maybe white supremacy will let up. That is the biggest fallacy. It will actually get stronger. It'll become more covert. It'll become way more dangerous. And it'll infiltrate parts of society where we would never expect it. It'll infiltrate the education system. It'll infiltrate the criminal justice system. It'll infiltrate the healthcare system. It becomes more sinister because Linda said it earlier, racism is just based on fear. They think that if we get the same kind of power that they have, if we have political power, and if we have economic power, that we are going to do to them what they did to us. But because we have a different perspective and understanding of America, we want America to be the best it can possibly be. We would never use our power to hurt other people. If anything, if black folks hurt anybody, we hurt one another. We have no interest in hurting them. We want to make all the progress we possibly can. If anything, we want to make up for lost time. That is why we're in such a rush to buy the newest this, to have the latest that. Like, we want to have the latest of what America has to offer. We're not going to take whatever time we have on this earth and say, oh, let's put up a plan to punish white people. Just our existence and our education and our vote is punishment enough for them. And they get worried and they oppress even further. And it's terribly unfortunate because we have illustrated on numerous occasions we have no interest in doing anything to them. We might want to move in their neighborhood. You know what I mean? We might want to hang out at their bowling alleys, but other than that, we don't really have any interest. And so here's another example. We have black police all over the country. Now, we are in smaller numbers percentage-wise than, say, other races, but how often do you hear about a black cop shooting an unarmed white kid or beating an unarmed white kid? Or how often do you hear about a black cop putting his knee on the neck of an unarmed white kid or a white kid that's high on drugs? We don't do that. So even when we have power and when society gives black people the power to kill, because the police officers, they got the power to kill, we still don't exercise that power. And I bet you there's a whole bunch of situations where a black cop could have shot, could have tased, could have choked a white assailant, and they still choose not to. We don't do that kind of stuff with our power. We don't want to hurt anybody else. We want to see how far we can get when it comes to progress and want to provide for our families, want to make sure that we are secure in our effects and in our homes. We don't want to hurt no damn body. Yet, they can't see us differently than they see themselves. They still have a colonial mindset. They still want to conquer things. They want to conquer institutions. They want to conquer other races. They want to conquer other ethnicities. That's why they say, oh, you come to America, everybody has to speak English. They don't even want you having the ability to organize against them in another language. That's why they're so worried about immigration. They feel like they're being replaced. You guys remember what they were chanting down the streets of Charlottesville in 2017? Jews will not replace us. And you can insert any other race or any other culture instead of Jew. They feel like they're being replaced. And demographically, that's true. If you go to some towns, you can just stay right here in Wisconsin, where 30 years ago there was no diversity whatsoever. You go to some of these towns, anywhere in the state, you're going to see more Latinos, you're going to see more East Indians, you're going to see more black people, you're going to see interracial couples. That's troublesome for them because that means that they are losing the firm grip on their society. I never thought in a million years I would see a black village president in Brown Deer. Never thought I'd see that. And Wanda Montgomery got elected. They feel like that is some kind of a threat, not knowing that black people can be the best representation of all people because we know what it's like to be deprived. We know what it's like to struggle. We know what it's like to be underinvested in. We know what it's like to make low wages. We know what it's like to deal with unfairness and discrimination. And so when we get power, we spend the vast majority of our time, effort, energy, and political capital trying to rid the world of those atrocities. We don't want to make more atrocities. And if anything, our violence is relegated to one another. But that's not even black on black crime. White people hurt white people too. You hurt who is ever in your vicinity. Whoever you have proximity to, that's who you rob. You don't oftentimes find car thieves going to Port Washington to steal cars. They're stealing right in their own neighborhood. So white people, you don't have anything to worry about. We're here to help. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
And at the top, rises for 3 over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was the song that myself and Common wrote. 2 brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 101.7 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the new 101.7 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We spent probably the first whole hour decoding and demystifying Kendrick Lamar's very, very complex and complicated Supertime halftime show. So I'm not sure which awards ceremony it will be. Probably is there an American Music Awards? Is there a Video Music Awards? Well, yeah, I guess MTV still has that. So I think that Kendrick Lamar, his Super Bowl halftime performance will be the first performance in history that's going to be recognized by an award show. Because remember, he's a Pulitzer Prize winning writer, and the symbolism and the imagery that he used in every single changing scene of that performance is one that is certainly worthy of note. It also is it was so amazing in how it exposed the ignorance of Americans. How if you knew, understood, and digested Black history, instead of just looking at Derek Mosley's Facebook posts about stuff Black people invented, that does not encourage people to digest Black history. We need to just stop learning about a Black person that invented this. We invented everything. But even the point of that, there's a game within the game of that. If you look at some of the most monumental things that Black people created, we did it before they integrated the schools. This is where I can resonate with Dr. Umar Johnson, who has since pretty much lost his damn mind because he turned into a crazy anti-vaxxer. But the whole point of showcasing Black artistry, mastery, ingenuity, and engineering is we did most of our inventing and creating before the schools were integrated, because that shows our prowess. And then you have to wonder, so then why was the move toward integrating us instead of funding us to the same level as white schools? And so they told us, well, you guys want the same resources as they have in white schools, correct? And we said, absolutely. Well, then you have to go to the white schools, which makes no sense. Why not just give us the same funding level so all children have the equal opportunity at an education? And they said, no, we got to bring you in closer to us so we can monitor what you're learning. And I would argue a generation and a half later, it simply has not worked. It's wild because when Jimmy Carter created the U.S. Department of Education, for those of you that don't know, it was created in Jimmy Carter's first and only term. U.S. Department of Education was created in 1977 as more of like an overview in public education in America to make sure that children were being treated fairly, to make sure there was no discrimination in the ranks of our education system. We actually were reading at a higher level. Can you believe that? Our reading comprehension scores were higher. Our math scores were higher. Then you fast forward and Black academic achievement has actually gone down. Really, American academic achievement has actually gone down. Why not just provide us with the same resources? And so now you have some Black parents to say, hey, you know what? My neighborhood public school is not working for us, not working for the family, not working for the children. And they may want to send their children to a private school. And I know this is incredibly controversial, but you got to ask yourself, why is it controversial? Most public school teachers, administrators, and principals and assistant principals that I know that work in MPS or work for a public school system don't send their kids to public school. You got to wonder why that is. Now, you got to keep in mind the demographics of those that instruct our children. They are white women, and they are political because they are members of unions. Most of them are. So organized, politically astute white women are our teachers. In a lot of cases, yes, I know there's Black teachers, but the vast majority of public educators in this country, especially in majority Black districts, are still white women. And they don't send their children to the schools in which they administer or teach. Have you ever thought about that? And then also think about this. Find me a school district, because I've been looking for one. And if I find one, I will get on an airplane, even though I said I wasn't going to fly anytime soon. If I find a school district that exhibits this next thing I'm about to say, I'll get on an airplane, go to this school district. Find me a school district where the majority of the student body is white and the teachers, the principals, the administrators, and the assistant principals, and the safety staff are all Black. Ain't no way white people would let Black people teach their kids. Even though they probably could learn a lot more from us about the realities of America they would never stand for it. But here's the other thing you got to understand about the white liberal. And I went off on some white lady yesterday on Facebook. I don't know. Yesterday I was kind of on one. I usually just sit back and observe what is going on Facebook and just allow people to speak freely, uninterrupted, because once I get involved in a conversation, it becomes a whole thing. And there was this white lady who had posted something that a racist member of the Republican Party said. I think it was a U.S. senator, maybe a member of the House. I'm sure some of you will Google it. And he said something to the effect of, well, infant mortality rates aren't that bad in America if you take out black women. So remove black women from the statistical picture. And this white Republican said, oh, infant mortality isn't that bad, basically blaming black women for the early deaths of their babies, which is an exceptionally racist thing to say. Because if there is any woman in any group or ethnicity that has a higher rate of infant mortality, we are failing those children and failing that woman, and that is a healthcare system that needs some drastic overhauling. But he said, well, if you just remove black women from the statistical equation, then infant mortality rates aren't that bad. And so this white woman posted like a screenshot or something of this white U.S. senator or member of the House of Representatives saying this and saying, oh, my God, this is so racist. And I read it, and I was like, Sherwin, don't say nothing. Sherwin, don't type in the comments section. Sherwin, don't do it. Please don't do it. I got to talk myself out of it. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm typing. I get sick, physically ill, when white people see, find, or discover a racist trope or a racist thought said by another white person. Like, they're so shocked. Oh my God, this is so racist. Why do y'all do that? Stop pretending like you're shocked by white racism. Because every white person, whether they admit it or not, they had an uncle, an auntie, a mama, a daddy, a grandparent that used the N-word and hated black people. Why are they shocked that racism exists? And why do they think that they're going to be elevated to the level of righteous when they point out something racist that a white person says? White people invented racism. Stop being shocked when you see it. An example, and I said this to this woman, which I know I shouldn't have, because then she sent a 4-paragraph response to me. Sherwin, are you trying to imply that me and my other friends are racist? Then she tagged all her other 60-year-old white friends. And I'm thinking to myself, only a hit dog is going to holler. Because sometimes people try and mask who they really are by trying to point out things that may deem them as righteous. Like, oh my God, that's such a racist thing that he said. And for all I know, this white woman voted for Trump, and now she's trying to do her repentance by calling out all the little racist things that white people say. And so she writes this 17-paragraph soliloquy wanting me to respond directly to her and how offended she was. And I basically said, a white person feigning outrage. So feigning outrage is like clutching your pearls, like pretending you're offended. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe a white person said something racist. Oh, this is horrible. We have to do better, or whatever cliches people use. I was like, a white person pretending to be shocked by racism is like George Washington Carver looking at a peanut with disbelief. You know George Washington Carver, he did all stuff with the peanuts. You know that much about black history, don't you? He made an explosive out of peanuts. He made the butter out of the peanut butter. When he made butter out of peanuts. He did a whole bunch of things. He invented like 300 things with the peanuts. And I said to this woman, a white person being shocked that racism exists, it's like George Washington Carver looking at a peanut and like, oh boy, that's a peculiar little nut. You invented it. Stop being shocked that it exists. And there's a president that exuded it. You apparently knew it existed during George Floyd. You're fully aware of what has happened, the atrocities that have happened to us, because white people know exactly what not to teach, what not to have in the curriculum. They hide it intentionally because they don't want white children to feel guilty. You know, when they were starting to roll back books and stuff in libraries that taught about black history, we don't want white kids to feel guilty. We do so much to protect white fragility that it's actually hurting white people. Your ignorance is going to be the death of you. I would never want to be that enslaved by what I don't know. And we're doing it intentionally now. So you're going to have a whole generation of white kids, really this generation on, that are going to grow up in an America that is more and more diverse, where white people are going to be less and less and less and less power and less political influence, etc. And they're going to know next to nothing about the people that they share a country with. You tell me how this bodes well for the future, number one, but this also gives an opportunity for our adversaries and our foreign enemies to attack us. If you don't know who your fellow countrymen and countrywomen are, there's no way that you can be unified. If you don't understand their history, if you don't understand their struggle, if you don't understand how much value they bring to the American Republic and the American experience, then you're not going to be willing to work together with them to fight the threats that exist outside of the United States. Now, when we had the Cold War going on, when we hated the Russians, it was much easier to engender a form or a sense of patriotism because we hated the communists because something nuclear war. They were going to blow us all up. And so because we had that common enemy, this enemy to capitalism that was the Soviet Union, because if a nuclear war was launched, the nuclear weapon doesn't care who's black, who's white, who's legal, who's illegal, who speaks Spanish, who speaks English. It would have fried all of us. So there was this sense of national unity against the communists. But then the Berlin Wall fell. That was the fall of 1989. I'll never forget this. I was 14 years old, and I took German in high school. If you guys didn't know, I speak German, which is very unusual, but I certainly scare a lot of white people, and I speak more German than they do. And I remember my German teacher saying, kids, this is a big deal. Remember when Joe Biden told Barack Obama that the Affordable Health Care Act was a big effing deal? My German teacher was like, yo, like, this is huge. Germany is going to be reunited again, East Germany versus West Germany. The Soviet Union has essentially crumbled upon itself. Like, the world is now going to come together. I remember her being so excited. I was just like, it's just a damn wall. You have no damn about that wall. But then when America had no centralized focus on our common enemy, which was Soviet communism, it's why we went to Vietnam. It's why we went to... why we had the Korean War. That's why we sent troops to Central America in the 1980s to stop the spread of communism, because communism is the antithesis to capitalism. So the wall fell. We would credit, I suppose, Ronald Reagan for that, even though it was a bunch of factors that were built into the fall of communism. Any system of oppression, this is the one thing that we have to learn from history that no one seems to know or understand or remembers. Any system of oppression already has its demise built into it. There is no system anywhere on earth that can withstand the test of time if it is an oppressive system. People are going to be free. Whether you understand that or not, whether you recognize that or not, doesn't matter. People are going to be free. So if a system exists, if an institution exists that seeks to oppress people, that institution has its downfall already built into it. What Donald Trump is trying to do, and I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do, but if it involves continuing to oppress people, it's not going to work. People are going to be free no matter what. So when the wall fell, Germany was reunited. The Soviet satellite countries started adopting early forms of democracy, which was a miserable disaster, and they all had economic recessions because they were all contingent upon Russia, and Russia was essentially bankrupted. Then America didn't have this common enemy anymore. We always need a villain in our story. America needs a villain. We need someone that we can collectively look down on. And for 40 years, it was the Soviet Union and the evil empire of communism, okay? But once that wall fell and the overwhelming threat of nuclear war was essentially mitigated, I mean, it's back now, but when it was reduced to a highly unlikely circumstance, but for a while it was very likely, well, we need an enemy. And so the enemy became one another. Now we hate each other. I would like for our common enemy, like it once was the Soviet Union and oppressive communism, I want our enemy to be racism. Let me tell you why that's not going to happen anytime soon. Because if there is a white person somewhere that believes that they are superior and they deserve the opportunity, they deserve the job, they deserve the promotion, they deserve the title, they deserve the seat in the highest performing college or university by maintaining their sense of superiority, then racism will never become the enemy. And when I'm trying to tell people, if your skin color is the only advantage you think you have, then you have no advantage because it's not even real. Your skin absorbs more vitamin D. That's it. That's it. If you're white, that's all. There are no other advantages. There's no other intelligence. There's no, athletic superiority. Well, I think we knew that one already. There's no advantage to it. It's just a matter of evolution. Your skin is more susceptible to cancer, but absorbs more vitamin D. Our skin protects us from cancer, absorbs less vitamin D because we evolved in places where the sun's rays were more direct. The tropics, closer to the equator. Have you ever noticed that the closer to the equator you are, the people are darker skinned? That's just evolution. It's got nothing to do with any kind of damn biology. And if someone thinks, and too many Americans do, and that is why they are enslaved. They're the new slaves now. But how do you get them to understand that? Because they think they're freer than everybody else because they have the ability to oppress. But if their ability to oppress is coming from their ignorance, then really they're the ones that are the slaves. Take a break, come back, grab a telephone call on the other side, shall we? You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. We have Friday Night Hoops on The Truth. This Friday, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to take on the Wright State Raiders.
Blocked by McKee, pulled down by Stillwell, 3.5, and A.J. McKee playing with 4 fouls, blocks the would-be game-tying three-pointer.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at WeEnergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like a family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This monumental moment in Black history is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Educators Credit Union, the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance.
Vale R. Phillips, a trailblazer for justice and a legacy of first. Vale R. Phillips was a pioneer for civil rights and a force for change. Born in 1924, she shattered barriers as the first Black woman to graduate from the University of Wisconsin Law School. In 1956, she made history again, becoming Milwaukee's first Black and first female alderwoman. For years, she championed open housing laws, facing fierce opposition but never blacking down. Her fight led to Milwaukee's Fair Housing Ordinance in 1968. Later, she became Milwaukee's first Black judge and Secretary of State. Vale R. Phillips paved the way for generations, proving that justice and equality are always worth the fight.
Listen to 101.7 The Truth all month long as we celebrate Black History Month. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hot boy. Are you really a hot boy?
Hot boy.
Oh, check me.
Boy, what's your name? Cause I'm impressed. Can you treat me good? I won't settle for less. You a hot boy, a rock boy, a fun toy, toy Glock boy. Where you live? Is it by yourself? Can I move with you? Do you need some help?
Let's talk to
Boy, I'll give you more.
Al. You're on 101.7 Truth.
Hey, how you doing? Hopefully everybody is doing good this Monday. I'm going to go kind of fast. Number one, if you're trying to become a millionaire, become the forbidden fruit. Because anything that's forbidden, there's a desire, a need, and want. You just have to create your audience. Number two, for Valentine's Day, he or she knows your conditions. So hopefully you can open somebody up or get opened up. Number three, racist conservatives always play the victim. They always play the victim. In order for them to understand where you're coming from, it's going to have to be a psychological murder or a mental assassination with one's guilt. And the only way you can do that is wait for the perfect time when they with their kids, their family members, and they see images of some of the most horrific crime scenes of like maybe black people set on fire, cut up, shot, a bunch of white people at a picnic. The images and the videos are out there. And then what you do while they're sitting there with their family, they want to see the monster they created, have images of racist white people who have done things to people who look like their children. Okay, you can find the videos and the pictures out there. And the question I have for you white conservatives and you white racists who always scream it's about America. Elon Musk is not from America. And I know how you white conservatives talk. I have not heard neither one of you call this show and say, tell that nigger go back to South Africa and take your nigger children. Because a lot of you conservatives is all about America, and you're giving him a pass. So I'm wondering why y'all so quiet. And then to you black conservatives like Al from Sherman Park, Winky Blue, that other gentleman, his name is Prince, the one who say, my people, anytime they go to Milwaukee, they always take their guns. Y'all be the main ones calling y'all own black people niggers and niggers. And y'all quiet as a church mouse. So my question to you black conservatives, why y'all giving this white man all this pass? I don't know how y'all come down on y'all own because y'all feel you hit a certain tax bracket. But I know a lot of you black conservatives, y'all sitting awfully quiet. And you letting this white man who was from South Africa come on your soil. But y'all very quiet. So what's up with that? And I'm going to hang up and listen because I know y'all are very vocal, especially you white racists. Tell that nigga go back to South Africa. You're not even from America, but you give him all kind of pass. And he's rich and you're poor. And the same for you black conservatives. Why the hell y'all all shut up? Because I know how y'all talk, and y'all know how y'all talk about y'all own. So to the black conservatives, why are you giving this white, South African white man all these passes? Because y'all don't give it to y'all own people. And I'll hang up and listen. And once I say it again, for Valentine's Day, he or she knows your terms and conditions, and hopefully you can open somebody up. And if you want to become a millionaire, become the forbidden fruit. Because when you are the forbidden fruit, there's always a need and desire. And I'm going to hang up and listen.
Thank you, Al, for that. All right. Well, so a bit of a disclaimer. I don't want a conservative person to call this show and use the N-word. I just don't think that'd be the most productive use of our time. I can't make up any excuses for African American. You can be black conservative. That's perfectly fine. But to be a Trumper, that's a different kind of conscious choice. But I also think that some of them don't want to admit that they were wrong about Trump because then they got to admit that they were wrong about a whole bunch of other stuff too. But I don't expect to hear from those people. So there is a particular kind of attention that you get if you agree in what I would call a very hostile political climate for an African-American Republican. They always get ostracized. You know why that is, though? It's not because we think any less of them. So we disagree with their political affiliation, but when you go against the vast majority of your people, you are going to get ostracized because on one hand, we always talk about, oh, black people need to come together. But then you have black conservatives, and all they do is fight the rest of us. And so, yeah, we're going to gang up on them because they are moving against the grain of their people. I gave the example of if Rick and I are standing right on the corner, right here on King Drive and Wisconsin Avenue, minding our own business. You know, me and Rick just stand around, minding our own business, just standing there. And we look west up Wisconsin Avenue, and we just see a crowd of black people running towards us. And I'm going to look at Rick. Rick is going to look at me, and we see the crowd of black people running at a very high rate of speed because the blacks are fast. And they're running. We don't know why they're running. I have no idea. But once the crowd of black people gets to where Rick and I are just standing on King Drive in Wisconsin, Rick and I are going to start running too. And if I'm curious as to why we're running, while I'm running, I'll ask somebody in the crowd, hey, excuse me, brother, why are we running? I don't know. I'm seeing everybody else running. Don't matter. I'm going to run with my people. And if I got questions, I'll ask while I'm in the crowd. I'm not going to be the black person. Well, let me see what they're running from and let me run toward it. No, I will not. I trust my people. And so if you make the conscious decision to be a black conservative, you are literally running in the opposite direction of your people. And you certainly can. But then when you get chewed up, don't blame us because we all ran the other direction. But there's a particular kind of attention that you will get if you agree to be a black conservative in what Republicans know is a very hostile environment for you. They'll give you rewards. They really will. They'll give you jobs working on Capitol Hill. You'll get to work for a member of Congress or for a senator. They will empower you in your own community. They'll give you consulting contracts. Absolutely. Because they know that if they can just chip away a couple more African Americans, they can win even more elections. No, I'm serious. There's a particular kind of attention that you can get, and they'll pay you. There's something about the Republican Party where they can just print money. There's something about their political ethos where, because they're so tied to big money and corporations, like it's not a shock that Donald Trump is surrounded by billionaires. It's not a shock that Donald Trump got, how much did he get from Elon Musk? What did Elon Musk contribute? $250 million to Donald Trump's campaign. You know what Republicans can do? They can say, you know what? Let's have a black outreach program let's do one in Detroit. Let's do one in Chicago. Let's do one in Milwaukee. And let's hire African Americans who are willing to be vocal conservatives, and let's pay them all $150,000 a year. Because it's a small drop in the well for us, but if we can get African Americans that can espouse our conservative values, if a member of the black community espouses conservative values, Republicans will literally pay for that. And so there's a special kind of attention that we get. It's almost like, I can't even compare the Democrats because Democrats are different with their money. Democrats won't pay a black person like a Republican will, because the Democratic Party will say, well, Sherwin, we need our money and our resources to galvanize the Latino community or to go and do outreach in parts of the country that are traditionally red. They won't pay us because they're thinking, well, sure, when you're black, you need to automatically be a Democrat. We're not going to give you any financial reward. Your reward is going to be in the policies that we create that are going to help black people. So they don't pay us. Republicans know that their policies are not going to help black people. So what they'll do is they'll pay a handful of black people to espouse their messages. And then those black folks will be well taken care of because they're getting money. Like, this is not new. I've seen this in my entire life. I want to share something with you that I probably shouldn't, which means I'm probably going to share it. Why don't we do this? We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Rita, and I'm going to share something with you because they approached me in 2000, must have been 2004. The Republicans did, with a big checkbook, a heavy checkbook. I'm going to tell you what happened. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
People often wonder, what's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're more than just a financial institution. We're a team of people who are actively invested in the next generation and in the communities where you live and work. We're in classrooms teaching financial literacy, in neighborhoods building homes and relationships, and in local communities lending a helping hand. We believe when communities thrive, we all thrive. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together, insured by NCUA.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Salutations! It's your uncle, Sam.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth proudly celebrates Black excellence and the most monumental moments in our history. Tune in all month long as we celebrate the voices, stories, and achievements that have shaped history and inspired the future. 1017 The Truth celebration of Black History Month is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Educators Credit Union, the Freighter to Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance. Now let's talk to Rita. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you, Rita? Thank you for holding.
I'm fine. I was growing up at that time. I was in grade school when they started doing the busing, and the way I understood it, this is how it was presented to me, or what I heard. The teachers on the south side were supposed to be the cream of the crop. They had all the best teachers, and they did not want to go to the north side. They were afraid to go to the north side. So they put the kids on busing, bused them from the north side to the south side to get the good teachers. Instead, because like I said, the good teachers did not want to go on the north for fear of I don't know what, which was why they actually started that busing. At the time, I can remember they had, and I was probably around 10.
What year was this, Rita, so we have a context?
Just a second. Let me think here. 10. What would I have been? 19.
What year were you born?
63.
So you're born in 53?
Yeah.
Okay, so 63. All right. And what
Okay,
school
so
did you attend?
I went to a private school. I went to Catholic school. But my parents didn't send me to the public schools. They weren't all that hot on the south side either. But they had, at the time, I don't remember, Father Grappi, when he walked across the bridge.
Yes.
And they put on a curfew for everybody. All the kids in my neighborhood we couldn't even sit on the porch for fear of all these people coming, which
Who were all these people that you were afraid of that were coming?
It wasn't that I was afraid. It was the grown-ups at the time.
Who were they afraid of?
Father Grappi were bringing the black people across the 6th Street Viaduct.
And what were they going to do? Like, why were they coming across the bridge?
Because they wanted better teachers.
Okay. Those were open housing marches because the city of Milwaukee did not allow black people to rent or purchase property in certain parts of the city of Milwaukee. That was what those marches were for. And so here's the thing. If those the quote-unquote best teachers were on the south side and those quote-unquote best teachers didn't want to come to the north side, can we still call them the best teachers? Because the best teachers want to teach children, not just white children. The best teachers are not afraid to go into neighborhoods where there might be a higher level of poverty. So I would argue that was a fallacy. And again, you were young and you were lied to, and you could not have been told the truth, because if you were told the truth that your developmental environments, your parents, and your community were overtly racist and they were afraid of black people, then that would have made you question your friends, your family, and your community. It had nothing to do with the best teachers, because quite honestly, the best teachers were black teachers because they could inform black children what they were up against when it came to people like your family and people on the south side.
I agree. I absolutely agree. That's why I could never understand what all the big hubbub was about.
All right. Do you still live in Milwaukee now?
No, now I'm retired and I live out in the sticks.
Where's the sticks?
We got cows out here.
Where I'm sure you do. Where is it at?
Outside of Hartford.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So Washington County.
Yes.
All right. You a Republican?
Are you out of your mind? Pardon me. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No.
Oh, you're not. You vote for the Democrats. All right. That's good for you.
Well, yeah. No, it's and let me tell you, living in my neighborhood.
Yes.
You have to be careful.
Why you gotta be careful? Your neighborhood now, or the neighborhood you grew up in?
The neighborhood now. When I first got married, we lived over on 89th off of Capitol.
That was a suburb back then.
More or less.
Yeah, it was a newer area in Milwaukee. 89th and Capitol. Oh, yeah, that was westward expansion of Milwaukee. That was a very white neighborhood over there. Yeah.
No,
not really.
No, we had. I'm not sure which of the pits it was. We had every nationality and every color. They were judges, not judges. It was quite a diverse group of people.
Because it was a working class neighborhood, I'd imagine. Everybody was employed. They had nice cars. Sure. When you say the pits and you say judges, those were more well-to-do African Americans. You didn't grow up in a neighborhood with a lot of black poverty, I'm assuming, because those folks were further on the north side.
No, I'll tell you, but when I had cousins that had to come in from California for a funeral, and the girls wanted to see the bad part of Milwaukee with all the, and I don't know what they were expecting, but I, for the life of me, could not find anything to take them to show them what they wanted to see. They were, they were expecting to see the bums or the people in New York that were sleeping in the streets and in the tunnels and all of that stuff. I don't know what you want me to show you, because I'm not seeing it. I was safer going on the north side of town than I was going over off of 6th and Lincoln or 6th in Oklahoma, where the Hispanic gangs were. I never even heard of a black gang when I grew up.
Well, you grew up in the 60s, though, so there wasn't really a lot of that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And they expected to see all this stuff happening, and that's not what. And when we would go to dances, I didn't have to worry about any black people attacking me. It was the guys from the gangs on the south, the 6th Street gang, they'd bring knives, and there would be knife fights.
And these were mostly Hispanics, I'm assuming, Latinos?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So that's just the way going back to the subject that we were talking about, that's the way I perceived it at the time. And as far as like Pulaski and Rufus King, I think there was one other school that looked exactly the same. The school setup, that was perceived to be, it was supposed to look like the school itself allowed black people and white people and the same education. But if you actually looked at the building, and it took me a long time before I figured out what was going on, we had black bubblers and white bubblers.
Wait a minute, at the schools, they had segregated drinking fountains in Milwaukee?
Yes. Oh yeah. Not okay. The way the building looked was half the building was for going to college, so the chemistry classes and everything were on one side. Those were all white bubblers. On the other side of the school, by the gym and the shop classes, they had black and white. And the only reason it even clicked with me was because the black bubbler was never used. And it was always clean, and nobody was sneezing all over, so I would use that one. And one of the kids came up to me and said, "Why are you using the black bubbler?"
So wait, Rita, was it designated black bubbler, or it was just in the part of the school where the black kids were attending their classes? Did it actually say blacks only or black bubbler, or that bubbler was just located on the black part of the school?
It's on the wall. There was a black bubbler and a white bubbler next to it.
And what school was this? Was this at your private school?
No, this is at Pulaski.
Did you go to Pulaski for high school?
Yeah.
Oh.
I graduated from there.
Okay.
It was very interesting. And then the black students, there was there's like a third floor up there. That is where the black students would have gone for being taught. And in the cafeteria, there was the large cafeteria, and then in the one area, it's by the windows, that was all empty. Well, when I was there, they had the kids with that needed extra help.
This is in the early 70s, late 1960s, right? I'd imagine you graduated from high school probably around 70, 71, give or take?
Yes.
Okay, all right. What's your maiden name? Your maiden last name, I'm curious, Rita.
Lozinski.
Oh, yeah, you're Polish.
I'm Polish.
Oh, yes, you are. Yeah. The polls and you guys were some of the most viscerally racist people that black people had to deal with in the city of Milwaukee. I'm not saying you, but let me just ask you this question. Then I got to go read it.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah. Did your parents or grandparents use the N-word? You heard it a lot growing up, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did. My grandmother would yell at my grandfather. Oh, but here's the story with my grandfather. My grandfather worked at, there was Crucible Steel and Maynard Steel right near Pulaski.
He worked with black people, and so he had black friends.
Yes. However, when anyone would get sick, because my grandfather was born in 1895-ish, so he would be the one to take. Crucible Steel did not have a lot of parking lots. You get off the bus. Back when I'm talking about the time when the buses in the city were 24/7. You got on the bus, whether it was 6 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, you took the bus. You may have owned the car, but everybody did. You only had one car. At any rate, someone got hurt at Crucible Steel, and he had to take the man to the clinic where they took all the people that worked in factories. You didn't take them to St. Francis or St. Luke's. Those were people who were having babies or actually sick. He took the man to get his treatment.
This is a black man.
And then yes.
Okay.
And then he drove him home. And curiosity, I can see my grandfather now. Curiosity got the best of him. The gentleman asked him to come in the house for coffee as a thank you for taking him. So my grandfather went in. He showed him the whole. It's a beautiful house. Everything was manicured. He comes back home, and I'm sitting there listening to him tell my grandmother what the house looked like, and he said, "Ada. Ada is a Polish men called. It's a sign of respect to ladies. If you call them Ada, you were calling them lady."
And grandfather explained this to your grandmother, and your grandmother was probably shocked that your grandfather went into the black people's house and had the coffee and that the house was nice. I got to kind of move it along, Rita, because I got to take a break.
Okay, yes, but what he thought, after he went in there, he said, "I don't know if it's possible, but that house was cleaner than yours."
Oh, that didn't work. That didn't go over very well, did it, with Ada?
No, I think was very happy because from that day on, he would call black people colored, but he never used that N-word again.
Rita, thank you for that story. That was... Do you hear how nonchalant she was about the racism? How they're just like, yeah, we just call them niggers. I heard it a lot growing up. She was just nonchalant about it.
My grandfather was the same way. And he was from actually Paducah, Kentucky. And so he comes from that era. And growing up, I remember asking my grandfather, because he used to use the H word and the C word. And I used to be like, "Granddad, why do you talk like that?" Huh? Oh, I thought you said something. And I used to ask my grandfather, "Why do you talk like that?" My mom said that's not nice. People shouldn't talk like that or act that way. And he started explaining it to me. And that's why he walks and talks the way that he does. Not only that, that whole era is the reason why he doesn't like dogs. Because you got to think in the South, they used to use German Shepherds to sick them on people.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So he never ever allowed me and my uncle to have dogs in the house.
People are asking what the H word is.
I don't feel comfortable saying it. But it's the...
Honky's not even a racial slur.
Well, yeah, that's what it is.
It's laughable if people think that's a racial slur.
Well, yeah, that's the word. But, racism makes me cringe, whether it's black or white or any race. So racism just makes me cringe, and I don't indulge in it because I'm a lover of all people. That's how I was raised.
So black people can't be racist, though. And I got to take a break, Rick.
Okay, but granted, I'm not ignorant to racism. I know racism still exists to this day, but me as a person, as a human being, I don't indulge in it from all sides of race. I just don't believe in it, and I don't stuff like that makes me uncomfortable.
Drop a bomb on him, Rick.
I wasn't ready.
Drop a bomb on him, Rick. Drop a bomb on him, Rick. How long does it take you to drop? There we go. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. 101.7 The Truth is now the proud home of Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference basketball. Tune in every week so you don't miss out on the classic rivalry game we all love, the high-flying dunks that leave us in awe, and the memorable moments where Milwaukee basketball legends are born. City Conference basketball on 101.7 The Truth is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
I am grateful for those who changed yesterday.
But I live in today.
And I pledge I will help shape tomorrow.
Milwaukee College Prep Scholars honor Black History Month not just during February, but each and every day they walk through the door, preparing for a better life for themselves and the world around them. Enroll your scholar at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Sometimes we all need a little staycation in our lives, and I am thrilled to tell you that Visit Milwaukee wants to help you do exactly that. They're launching their annual Hotel Month campaign, which offers travelers and staycationers a stellar deal at area hotels. Go to visitmilwaukee.org to find the over 24 hotels throughout the area who are offering discounts from 15 to 25% off the daily room rate. Act fast because the discount ends on Wednesday, February 12th. For more information, visit milwaukee.org. That's visitmilwaukee.org. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Turn it up some. All right, boy. This is her favorite song, you know that, right? So if we play it good and loud, she might get up and dance again. Oh, she put her beard down. Here she comes, here she comes. Left, 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 right, left. Whew. Hustlers shooting 8 ball, throwing darts at the wall, feeling damn near 10 feet tall. Here she comes, Lord help us all. OTW's girlfriend done slapped him out his chair. Poor old boy, it ain't his fault. It's so hard not to stare at that honky-tonk, but don't get down. Keeping perfect rhythm makes you wanna swing along. Got it going on like Donkey Kong. And ooh, shut my mouth, slap your grandma. There ought to be a law, get the sheriff on the phone. Lord have mercy, how she even get them bridges on? That honky tonk, but donkey donk.
Zach, you know the words to this song? Zach is over here singing this whole song. Honky tonk, badonkadonk. Now he's doing the Millie Rock to it.
I was like, you dance like you know this song. You're like,
he does know it.
This is song. He's still singing it.
Honky tonk, badonkadonk. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The song said, "Oh, she put her beer down."
I wouldn't mind looking at a honky tonk, badonkadonk. I wouldn't mind.
Like she about to get it. All right.
Because, you brought up the H word. And I assure you, if they thought it was that much of a slur, they wouldn't have a whole genre of music called honky tonk.
That's crazy.
But that has a different meaning than how we use it. It came, so that and cracker. Cracker is what you call the slave master because he whipped us, and the sound of the whip was crack. So the cracker was the one that had the whip. Isn't that crazy that our racial slur for white people is the sound of a whip cracking against our backs? So that's not a racial slur. That reminds them of when they used to own people.
Yeah. It just, for me, it's so cringy.
It's cringy, and also nobody really uses it. Honky is when white men would pull up to a black brothel and they would honk the horn for a black prostitute to come out. Oh, the honky is out there because he's honking his horn for a black prostitute. So that's not really a racial slur either. Thank you guys for listening. Kyle Wallace is up next with Truth to Power.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Ray Walker III, Sales Director at Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. He will discuss how